Well, it's a live stream, so wait for some people to jump on here. But I'm going to be printing these HebrewFest t-shirts. HebrewFest 2025 is coming right up. I've got the backs of all of them done, which has the lineup on there, as you can see. Uh-oh, it's going to be reverse. That's all right. It says Jay Zadik, Left and Right Ministries, Simply Prodigal, Speedy the Artist, Hezekiah, Kellen Pullman, I'm reading backwards, Fishers of Men, Sincere for Yah, Faith is, Bryson Gray, George Moss, Yasta Man, Devoted to Yah, Salt of the Earth Ministries, what does that say? Wayne Kaufman, Bobby Thorns, J.O. Pariah, and True Light are going to be at HebrewFest performing. That's going to be on July 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. So coming right up. It's going to be a lot of fun. I've been at HebrewFest the last 2 years in a row, and really an amazing time. For people put aside their differences in doctrines to worship the Most High together. And not that the doctrines don't matter, but this is a time where we can just focus on seeking Yah's face. For those who don't know, I call God or Lord, the creator of everything, I call him Yahuwah, or Yah for short, as also David called him in Psalms. Palmetto Paratrooper, shalom, brother. It's good to see you. But I'm going to go ahead. I got a lot more shirts to print. I got this whole stack to do. And I was like, man, if I'm going to be stuck in the print shop, I might as well invite some people to come hang out. So nice of you to join me, Palmetto. Thanks for being here. All right, I'm going to put this one back because this one is done. I did a couple of the sizes already. Small and medium are finished. So I got large through 3X to finish right now. So I'm going to go ahead. Looks like somebody's coming over here. Maybe not. Just going to go ahead and put this in the bucket. All right. So, I don't know what I'm going to talk about as much as if you guys have any questions, I'm happy to do like a little Q&A or something. Taylor 13, hello. Thanks for being here, Taylor. And so I'm going to go ahead and get this lined up nice and straight. I did not test the audio, so hopefully you can hear me all right. Hopefully I didn't just blow out your eardrums by flicking the mic either. But let me know if you don't mind, Palmetto. Love ya, shalom, shalom. It's working. Thank you, Taylor. Okay, let's see. How's my placement on there? Looks good. Make sure this is not going to hit my tripod over there when I spin it around. Let's go ahead and lay it down. Shalom, eternal light. Shalom, shalom. It's been a while. So this live stream is kind of breaking the ice, getting me back into the swing of things. For those of you who were following the Bible readings I was doing, I've kind of been MIA for the last, I don't know, 3 months or something like that. To be honest, it took me a long time to get used to being consistent uploading YouTube stuff because I'm not a content creator. I am a dad and a husband and a screen printer. And so I got a lot of other things that, frankly, I prefer to do than record myself. I'm not like a selfie kind of guy, so putting my face on my phone is a little outside of my comfort zone. But I do this for the fellowship, and I have met a lot of awesome people through doing this, so it's been a huge blessing to me. And I want to finish what I started by getting back into the Bible readings. So that's why I started doing it, and that's what I want to get back to doing. But right now, of course, I got a lot of work to do. So here we are. And if you haven't been to HebrewFest, it really is an awesome time, which is, of course, for those who just jumped in, what I'm printing right now. I've got my HebrewFest staff shirt on because I'll be helping at the event wherever I can. And also we'll have our t-shirts set up at a booth. And we'll be running a coffee stand also. We'll be making some espresso and iced coffee. So that should be awesome to have while we're out there. Especially the iced coffee. I think it's going to be like in the 90s, which is kind of the reason I did these light colored shirts. I'm hoping that it'll help people stay cool. Also, I just kind of envisioned like a bunch of people dressed in white praising Yah together, and I was like, yeah, that's gonna be cool. So staff shirts are a little darker just to differentiate, but yeah. So how have you guys been? I've missed you. Doing the live streams is it's been a while. Here's Lucia. Lucia, you want to pop in here and say hi?
Hi! Here's your YouTube mail that you've been waiting for.
Oh, nice. Cool.
Okay, Shiloh, get out of here. Get, Shiloh. No.
Lucia says hi, everybody. So, got 5 people in here. I'm gonna have to have my head down a lot of the time because I'm right now I'm really putting. So maybe you guys can I don't know, ask me some questions or something so I can keep my focus here, but also engage with you. If you guys, if you have any questions about HebrewFest too, that would be kind of the topic of the video, right? So, and I don't know if any of you guys have been to HebrewFest, but it's all different genres of music. People that are coming from all over. I think that we even have one group coming from Hawaii. They were there at the first HebrewFest I went to in 23, which, what was their name? Oh, The Highway. The Highway, and they're really good. If you like Rastafarian music, or they're not Rastafarian, that's not the right word, that's a religion. Reggae music. Pretty much, you know, synonymous, right? Or at least in my mind it is. All right. Okay. So I'm gonna see how fast I can move here. Usually I can get about 1 shirt every minute with a dark print on a light t-shirt, if I don't have to flash in between prints, that is. So we'll do a flood, couple firm pulls on there. You gotta get that shirt off without making the ink get all over the place. I think the fastest I've ever printed was like 30 seconds per shirt, but I had my sister helping. She was putting the t-shirts on here while I was printing the next one, which was pretty awesome, having that system. But now we're flying solo again, just me and Lucia here running this operation, which is all right. But let's see. Eternal light. My mind was saying something was wrong with Rastafarian, but wasn't thinking of the right word, right? Haven't been to HebrewFest, but my sister just went to Proclaim Music Fest in Iowa. That's cool. I have not heard of Proclaim Music Fest, but I love music. music was one of the first things that um, I changed when coming into an actual like relationship uh, and actually started reading scripture. I found out that music is very much worship, and no matter what kind of music it is, if you're singing about your truck and your girlfriend, well, you're worshiping that thing. Uh, and if you're singing about Yah, you're worshiping. If you're singing about money, you're worshiping. Whatever you're singing about is what you're worshiping. So I decided early on that I wasn't going to listen to secular music anymore because it's worshiping something. And so that was the first thing that I set apart was music. And then the Father started peeling me back like an onion, one layer at a time. And I think that that's the process of sanctification. You stop worshiping with your lips and start giving him your heart, and he'll start working on changing the things that he uh, wants changed. Another Torah Messianic group festival, yeah. So I have not heard of any other ones, so I'll have to look that up. That's Proclaim Music Fest in Iowa. That's awesome. Did you know that, or this is what I've heard, I don't know, maybe you can confirm this or refute it, but I heard that Iowa in the Native American language actually meant Yahuwah. And I've heard rumors and theories. I haven't gotten any proof, but I could believe it that the Native Americans are part of the scattered tribes that we read about in Scripture. And that would make sense why there's so many parallels in their culture. Now, just like the Israelites have gone and added a lot of traditions over the years, I believe that that's the case with the Native American tribes, if in fact they are bloodline Israel. Not that that's really a huge concern. People really get caught up on the bloodlines, don't they? I'm of the understanding that we are all one, grafted in, if we follow Yah and keep His commandments. We have the testimony of Yeshua. So the bloodlines thing is a very divisive topic, so I don't really go down that rabbit hole too far because it's really neither here nor there. Haven't heard that before about Iowa, but I have heard of some Native American tribes that seem to preserve the Creator's name in their language. Yeah, definitely. And, they found some maybe it's paleo, some Hebrew writing, ancient paleo writing on rocks and stone walls in New Mexico, and I think in some other places here in the United States. But it's fascinating stuff. What does that mean? I don't know. You tell me. I don't know. I don't have the answers to all the mysteries, but it is fascinating. But yeah, I'm not going to get caught on that topic for too long. But yeah, Hezekiah, Bobby Thorns, a lot of these guys I listen to a lot, and Left and Right Ministries. He's Lyndon and Ruth, his wife, are the worship leaders at our fellowship. A lot of you have heard of Adam Fink from Parable of the Vineyard. We fellowship at the same fellowship that he does. He started the fellowship in Galena, and now it's moved up to Macomb. Missouri, and that's only a stone's throw away from where we are. So we've been really blessed to be a part of the fellowship, and we really love everybody there. So if you have anything besides good to say about Adam, keep it to yourself. Not to mention, I'm not one for divisive conversations, so we try to keep everything in the spirit as much as possible. I don't think any of us need help, you know, getting into the flesh. You got enough external factors in life to contribute to that. But I did some children's t-shirts for this event also with the green that I had. And on here, the green was more of a Kelly green. You can see it right there. So I had to mix some black in here. It was a Kelly green. And, but I thought for the children's shirts, having a brighter green was actually kind of cool because the kids really like having brighter colors. I've made the mistake of doing like earth tones for the children's shirts in the past, browns and brown, navy, maroon. Those are kind of like my favorite t-shirt colors. But that's not necessarily like my 7-year-old son's favorite t-shirt colors. He likes like blue and red and green and purple, and his favorite color is purple, which is funny because that's my dad's favorite color. He says it's a royal color, purple. I guess it is, right? Royalty. You see the royal blue is kind of a purple color. All right. I really like doing dark ink on light shirts. You only have to hit it one time. He did say we'd be scattered everywhere. Yeah, he did. And we are. We really are. And it's really apparent when you have stuff like this going on online. You see people um, who are walking in Yah's ways and really, really living it out, right? I know people from Australia. I'm drawing a blank, but there's like people in the UK all over the place that we don't really know, but that are keeping the commandments of Yah, and yeah, it's really fascinating though. We kind of get caught up in our microcosm here in the United States and forget that there's people all over the place that are brothers and sisters in faith. And not a popular opinion, but there's people in the Sunday church too that are brothers and sisters and just haven't come out yet, because that's where I came out of, was Sunday church Christianity. And so some people in Torah don't reckon them to be family, but I do. I think that, if anybody's going to be able to minister and witness to them and share the truth of the gospel being from cover to cover, then it's going to be me and you, people who love past our differences. Otherwise, we're not going to reach anybody anyways, because you got bad fruit, no love or kindness or gentleness towards people who disagree with you, then we're going to be we're in for a heck of a time. But I know a lot of those people that have a lot of patience and heart for the lost, and That's where my heart is at. That's why we do what we do. We're not just trying to shout into an echo chamber over here. We're trying to reach people who haven't yet seen what the Father's shown us, you know, with love and with a tasteful approach. You know what I mean? I once listened to a sermon by Bill Cloud, really good sermon. And he was talking about how the Word says that, Scripture says His Word is a light to our path, a lamp unto our feet. And we tend to take that light and we get really excited that He gave us this light, right? We got the light, we can see our path, we know how He wants us to walk, we can see what we need to step over, and He guides us, right? But we get excited and we take the light and we start shining it in people's eyes and we go, can't you see this? You know, can't you see? And of course they can't see because they're blinded by what, you know, you're shining your light in their eyes. And I'm really hacking that sermon, but if you get an opportunity to look it up, maybe I'll try to find it and link it in the description after I'm done here. But it was really good. It was eye-opening. And I was really new into the faith at that point, but that's right when I was most on fire about it. You know, I was really excited. Everything was new. I was seeing everything with brand new eyes for the first time, and it had always been there, but I was like just first able to see it for myself. Because I actually had a brother about 5 or 6 years before I started keeping the commandments, and he was telling me, he's like, yeah, this stuff's for today, you know. And long story short, I didn't receive it, and it wasn't until later on, like way later, like I said, 5 or 6 years later, the Father started, you know, revealing things to me, and I had to call up my brother who was sharing this with me and tell him, hey man, you were right. Like, what you were trying to tell me, I thought you were like a Pharisee, and I apologize. Forgive me because I didn't say it out loud, but I thought that you were lost, man. And so, like, anyways, I didn't receive it at the time, which is something that we have to be aware of, is that sometimes, you know, before that seed can really take root, that ground needs to be tilled up a little bit. And for me, I wasn't ready to receive it yet at that time. But I called him up when the Father showed me. I was like, man, it's like one of the first things was finding out, just through a desire to live a healthier life. I was interested in nutrition and wellness, right? And finding out about how the dietary commandments are very parallel. They line up perfectly with modern scientific discoveries, right? They're finding out that swine flesh is unclean. It harbors tons of just nasty stuff, right? And they don't sweat, this and that. You know the story. You've probably gone down this road as well. But that led me to just having like this duh moment where I was like, wow, it's almost like God knew better than I did and tried to warn me in His Word. And I just looked at that and chalked it up to that was for them, you know, and all of the modern, I don't want to say excuses, but explanations is, they didn't know you needed to cook it to certain temperatures and all this and all the reasoning behind why God has changed, really, is what they're trying to explain. But it's almost like the Creator has known best all this time. Exactly. Well, and that just opened up, like, so what it did is it put more it gave me more confidence in His judgments, his right rulings, right? He gave commandments for our benefit, not because He wants to control every aspect of your life. Otherwise, He wouldn't have given us free will. But He he wants what's best for us. So he says, don't do this, do this instead. Um, and so we started turning over every stone, proverbially, right? And finding out that it's all relevant and it's all good. Just like New Testament says, it's all good for doctrine and edification. You guys put it in the chat. You know what I'm talking about. It's all beneficial for us. I think Peter said that. Well, I'm already on the 2XLs. Time flies when I got people to talk at. Then you came down on Mount Sinai and spoke with them from heaven. You gave them upright judgments and true laws, good statutes and commandments. That's a perfect parallel verse. I was thinking of something that's written in the New Testament, but that's a good one. Yeah. Well, you read Psalm 119, right? David loves God's law. And forgive me that I say God, you know what I'm saying. I speak to an English-speaking people, and while I use Yahuwah in my private life and things, I get used to saying God to people who are going to pick up that language. So I don't find it to be heretical at all, but that's one of those topics that can be divisive. It seems like almost any topic can be divisive nowadays, though. I think we all ought to have a little more grace, is really what it comes down to. The day you have it all figured out, let me know. And then I'll quit conversating with you because you're a liar. I'm not talking to any one of you, I'm just saying. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more shirts to go. Then we'll probably just head on over into the packaging room and get these things folded up. So, but yeah, reaching people that disagree with you is one of the main benefits of having music festivals that are for Yah's glory, because it's not about us, it's not about your calendar, it's not about any of that stuff. It's just about getting together on any day of the week and giving your Creator the praise and worship that He deserves with other people who otherwise wouldn't be hanging out together. Also, there's going to be people there that aren't walking in Torah. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be people there who are Christians and they just have faith in Jesus and they want to come somewhere to worship. And we're here for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're coming to the right place because, we're going to worship the Messiah. We may call him different names. You say Yahusha, I say Yeshua, someone else says Yahushua. You know what I mean? I don't know, somebody's going to say Yahshua. Literally. Is it worth not locking arms and giving the Most High praise together? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. Everybody's got a hill to die on. That's not mine. I don't think his name is insignificant by any means, but who's gonna say that they have the correct version and everyone else is wrong? I just think that we got to be more humble than that. Give room for, first of all, it doesn't even matter really. I got to focus on the weightier matters. Loving Yah and loving people. Lucia and I were talking last night about, like, where's our common ground, right? It's not on his name, but it is on him, the Messiah, the Son of the living Elohim, right? He's our common ground. If you were doing like a bubble chart and like the part of the bubbles that all intersect and all have one thing in common, it's him. It's him. And so why not make the main things and like not let the enemy sow division and strife among us? I see the body as like a bunch of pieces that have been like shattered apart, you know, shattered apart, and you got like thousands and thousands of pieces of this body that are all fractured and divided, and they don't have everything, all the understanding that you have, and you don't have all the understanding in all the areas that they have. And then we end up in this like doctrine and this sect or denomination, and at large, but you know, we divide and we oust anybody who's not seeing the piece of the puzzle that you've been given. And without love, we'll never come together. We'll never come together. And we won't enter the kingdom either without love. Oh, I got the calendar right. I got the name right. I'm in, right? No, not necessarily. Because pride is lawlessness. And we already know what he's going to say to some of us. Some of us, that meaning there are some among us that are going to be told on that day, depart from me, I never knew you. You who practice lawlessness. Who else is going to have more to brag on, saying, oh man, I kept the Sabbath, I ate clean, you know, I got the calendar right, I did all these things, I cast out demons. Most of us aren't doing any of that either, by the way. But I don't. I'm on a video right now. Sorry, my neighbor just came to the door. But you know, you're picking up what I'm throwing down anyways. What we got over here? Oh, okay, what we got? My friends over. Oh, I missed a lot of comments. Oops, what did I do? Oh yeah, Brian says, amen, brother, can't talk about anything anymore. It's true. It's true. Everybody wants to let you know what they know. Nobody wants to hear each other, though. The purpose of language is it means to communicate intent. If your intent is best conveyed to someone in more common English terms, then it would be more beneficial to use them than otherwise, right? I think Paul said, you know, that though he speaks with the tongues of angels, he'd rather speak a few words in a known language than many words in the tongues of angels. And I'm poorly paraphrasing, but I think that's a parallel. My friend for over a decade waited until I moved halfway across the country to keep Torah. Oh man, what a bummer. He called me and told me and came to Torah because of my example a year after I left. Praise Yah. That's awesome though. See, I mean, that's let your light so shine before men. They see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. Let me ask you though, what is good works? Torah. It just is. We're doing righteousness, righteous behavior, which is inherently walking in the footsteps of Messiah because he did those things. I never tried to convince or convert him, just to let him see how I live, and I answered his questions. Praise Yah. Exactly. People don't care what you know until they know that you care. Right? You could wear tassels and keep Sabbath and know all of the Torah, but if it's not in love, then you have nothing. Exactly. That's 1 Corinthians, isn't it? Got to keep the weightier matters without neglecting the others. Exactly. You tithe what the mint and the anise, but you neglected the weightier stuff. Like you should have done both, is what it says, right? I can't remember what he neglected, but probably like the gold, finances. Awesome, Palmetto. Yeah, beware of any man that has high turnover rate amongst those closest to him. That's a fact. It's a fact. Got to go for now. Shalom, all eternal light. Shalom. Thanks for jumping in here. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Well, kind of ranted there for a little bit, but hopefully it's of benefit to somebody and I'm not just spouting. But it really is something that has been more and more concerning to me, especially the longer I'm in this walk, is like for some people I'm convinced this is just a show. And I hate to say that, but it's not a heart matter, for some it's going through the motions kind of thing. And I'm not thinking of anybody in particular, but there are those that worship Yah with their lips, but their heart is far from him. Let it not be us, right? Just keep our light on our path. And people will see it as we're walking in righteousness and in love with good fruits and humility, and they will follow, just like Palmetto, just like you were just saying. Your brother followed because you didn't shove it down his neck. You didn't tell him, hey, you keep on eating that bacon, you're going to hell. Even though it's easy to argue bacon, okay, for me, because there's poop in it, dude. Pigs eat their food in poop, and that poop stays in their meat forever. Now, if you knew that somebody was about to bite into a sandwich, they think it's good, but there's poop in it, and you know it, and you don't tell them there's poop in it. And when they find out there's poop in it, it's amazing how many people don't care. They want that poop. They want it. And you can't stop them from eating it. It's sad but true. It's sad but true. And they'll eat it in front of you, thinking that they're like mocking you. Goodness. You enjoy it. I'm not gonna, yeah, I can't even, there's nothing else I can say on that. I went too far already. All right. There's the last one there. The 3X. Only got a couple of these 3X's. All right. Let's go ahead and move on up to the east side. Finally got a piece of the pie. So it's 90 degrees in here. If you can't tell, I'm sweating. Pretty sweaty over here. Well, don't let me exaggerate. It's 89.8 degrees. 89.8. But I do have a fan pointing on me. That's pretty good. Got it. All right. Let's go over here. Take you for a ride. All right. I think I got the last one coming out of here. Just a sec. Yep. It's coming out. pretty tight quarters over here. It's even warmer over here. All right, 7 people in here and 7 thumbs up. That's what's up. Appreciate you guys. Okay, the last t-shirt, and I'm gonna turn this thing off. It has been a day today. I've been at it for a while now. For a while now. This ain't nothing new to us, partner. I don't even know who sings that song. It's on my playlist somewhere though. Okay. I'm gonna bring y'all in here and then I'll get my tote and bring it in. See, we got a stack of shirts right there. The whole table is almost took up. I'll go get this other tote and we'll get to folding these bad boys up. All right. There we go. I thought it would be warmer back here, but there's just no fans or nothing. Oops. We good? Hey, JS Genesis. Hello, hello, and shalom. Hope you're doing well. Okay. Get a fan on here. Yeah, I know it's happening quick, man. I'm telling you, start walking in the way. It's a narrow path. It's a narrow path. But it is full of blessings, not without challenges. But I'm convinced that the Father is preparing us to go through difficulty. So I haven't met one brother in the faith who doesn't have difficulty in their life, or sister. And it's probably just a universal thing. Life is difficult. Thanks, Adam. Adam and Eve, Adam. But I'm convinced that it's his providence, his love for us that allows us to go through difficulty so that we can grow and I'm going to use a parable here. So you're going to go split a cord of wood and you haven't done it in 10 years. By hand, not with a wood splitter. You're going to have some blisters on your hands. But if you are always doing work, you're swinging an axe, you're using a shovel, you're out there, you're using your hands, you're going to have calluses, right? But those calluses were developed through repetitions of smaller trials and some bigger ones. But these repetitions allow you to grow calluses, and the calluses are not so that you can have rough and sturdy hands only, but it's to protect you from getting blistered when all of a sudden you have 3 or 4 cords you got to get split up in the next week. And how are you going to tackle that? How are you ever going to tackle that if you don't have any calluses on your hands? Maybe a bad analogy, but you pick up what I'm throwing down, right? It's so that it's for our own protection that he allows us to go through the hardship, to prepare us for what will be making our trials now seem like a cakewalk. That's my 2 cents. That's my belief on that. wisdom in my youth. Yeah, is that the gray hair? Olives need to be pressed to make oil. That's right. And hard pressed is the way to narrow gate. That's for sure. So that's why, right, in James it tells us to take joy in the trials, not just like a feel-good message like, oh, it's all for your benefit, brother. It's, no, it really is. He works all things for the good of those that love him, for those who are called according to his purpose. And when I go through a hard time, recently we have had a lot of car trouble and blah, blah, blah. I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole right now. But we've had some testing, let me just put it that way. Some testing that hasn't been fun. It's not fun. But I will look at my wife or the mechanic working on my broke down car and I say, you know what? He can even use this. He can even use this. And that's what I want to say is that whatever you're going through, he can even use that. And he will. If you pass the test, if you want to flail and freak out, and trust me, I've been there more recently than I'd like to admit, you failed. you not he could still, he takes broken things and uses them for our good, but we can expedite the blessing that comes after the trial if we do well in the trial. Now I don't have enough room to fold my shirts. Usually I don't have this many t-shirts on my table. Whew, I got to turn on this fan. I'm cooking. Might be hotter in this room because I didn't have any airflow. But, so honestly, doing what I'm doing now, I'm often working in 90 degrees, 95 degrees inside this print shop. And it's not my favorite. It's not my favorite thing to be working in stuffy, hot rooms like this, but I'm so thankful that I get to do what I do. And if I just remind myself of what a blessing it is to work right next door to my house, to do something that promotes the kingdom while also providing for my family, even though I've been told that I'm making Yah's house a den of thieves and I'm a child of Satan because I make a living doing screen printing for shirts that promote the kingdom and give glory to my creator. There's a lot of haters out there, but I do think they believe what they're saying. But that's like telling somebody who makes music to worship the Most High, and somebody buys their CD. I'm not selling the gospel. I'm selling a T-shirt, a decorated garment. I just so happen to decorate it with something I care about. But anyways, that actually really bothered me because when I started doing the T-shirt thing, I was very conscious of this exact topic, and I was in prayer a lot about it, wanting to make sure that I'm not doing something that's for selfish gain. And I could have definitely done what I was doing and kept making more money than taking a huge risk starting a business. But there it is, folded T-shirt. But anyways, I digress. As soon as I stopped chasing fellowship and got back to chasing Messiah, everything started improving, including my health. That's good. Praise y'all. That's what it's about, man. We tend to get distracted so easily, and some of the distractions are, they're not. So the things that distract a person that loves the Most High are not like worldly things, mostly, right? It's like knowledge, things like that. People start going down rabbit holes and learning about this or that. And there's nothing inherently wrong about learning. I think that that's great. I think that, as people perish for the lack of knowledge, we need to be sharpening each other, getting together and fellowshipping and stirring each other up in love and fine works, that sort of thing. But we can get distracted on the non-important aspects. I mean, less important aspects of our faith, right? Some of the debatable conversations that we have. Um, Man, I am folding these out of order. Normally I pull them out of a tote, but I got them stacked up. Can you even see those? Look how high I got my shirts stacked up over here. Yeah, well, and that's the thing. That's the thing, man, is that um, people will find fault with somebody, and then what you're supposed to just believe what they say because they said it. Like everything they say is the gospel truth, and not test things and have evidence. There's no due process. There's no like, well, you're going to be held accountable for the judgment that you give, even if it's based on hearsay. So I don't know. I think obviously we want to be careful with people who have wicked tendencies of any sort, especially in regards to what you just said. I won't say it out loud on YouTube, but I can't base my life and how I treat other people based off of hearsay. That's a lesson I've had to learn. Um, you know, over concerning myself with things that other people feel strongly about, and it's not even part of the mission that the Father put in my lap. Start making everybody else's mission your mission. You'll never live out the calling the Father has for your life. And when you pursue your own calling and people don't support you doing that, then maybe they down down deep they want you to follow them and not Yah. Um, I don't know though. But I don't want to talk about all the things that are wrong with the body. I think that we have a lot of people in the body that are doing amazing things. You got people like my friend Patrick and his wife Amy. They have an apothecary business, and they're making like glycerides, like with elderberry syrup and stuff like that have been keeping my family from getting sick, keeping our immunity on full blast. Especially the more you fellowship, some of you are aware of this, like the more often your family ends up getting sick, especially if you got little ones. And so shout out to Patrick and Amy. I know that they're probably not watching right now, but Patrick and Amy, they got a small business called Heal the Nations Apothecary. Um, and it seems like no matter what you do, you try to do something that helps people, like what they're doing. They've been called witches or whatever because people misunderstand uh, using the plants that our Creator gave us for health. Like that's a bad thing. They're not mixing potions, and they're not. It's not divination to use the plants of the earth to have healing. And we could go down a whole rabbit hole with that too, talking about plants as medicine and some of the more taboo plants that actually have incredible medicinal benefits. But my point is, it really doesn't matter what you do. There's always going to be some that are dissenting against what you're trying to do. But like you said, Palmetto, if we are seeking Messiah and and I'm going to add to that, and we're living for an audience of one, we're living to please our Creator. Everything we do is through the lens of, is this pleasing to my master? Then you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter what everybody else thinks. Because if you're doing what you're called to be doing, and you're making the right choices even when nobody's looking, then what more could anybody try to demand from you? It says that our hearts are wicked. Like, we don't even know our own hearts. How's somebody else supposed to know our hearts if we can't even know our own heart? Which should let us be slow to judge other people on things too. Because I believe that most people um, that are contentious have misplaced zeal. They think they're doing the right thing, just like some of the people who put Messiah on the cross. I think that there was a lot of the higher ups, they were well aware of what they were doing. They were killing the Son of the living God. But there were some that were just following the crowd, right? And they really didn't know. I mean, otherwise Messiah, his words are incorrect. He says, "Forgive them; they don't know what they're doing." Um, some of them didn't, and maybe it may be true that none of them knew the extent of what they were doing. But I do believe that some people that were stoning Stephen were thinking they were doing the right thing. You know, there's just, I mean, even in that case, yes, of course they were wrong, especially in hindsight, we know that. But I personally have been caught up in my zeal and made the wrong choices thinking I was doing the right thing, you know? And then in hindsight, I had to repent and you know, and that's a painful process, but the Father is going to reveal that to people, not, you know, loud and harsh words, things like that. I really wish that we were like on a video chat so that I could actually get feedback from you guys. But one of these days we'll do something like that on here. I know I've been talking about it for a long time. JS Genesis and I, we talked about that a long time ago, and I, of all the fruits of the Spirit, the one I need to put more of my attention on, all of them could be dialed in, just for to be clear. But faithfulness, which I believe is another way of putting, like, you can count on somebody. Um, I haven't been consistent in my life, even in my private life off of YouTube, like not getting up at the time that I want to every day, allowing myself to hit the snooze button, not being diligent, not being consistent. Consistent. Somebody told me one time that she felt like the Father had a word for me, and I don't always take that stuff to heart, but the fact that this word has stuck with me over the last, goodness, has to be 15 years or so, lends to the credibility. But anyways, long story short, the words she said, I don't know if it means anything or not. So to her credit, she wasn't claiming to be a prophet or anything. But she said consistent and contentment were the words that were given to her, she believed, to relay to me. And I believe whether that was just something that she felt like she needed to tell me, or whether that was a couple words that she wanted to that the Father wanted her to relay, I don't know. But I do believe that when you are consistent, you will find more contentment. So it makes sense without having a supernatural meaning behind it. But I find that when I have consistency in my life, I do have more contentment. But I'm just confessing that because I want to be more consistent, not in making YouTube videos, but just anything. If I say I'm going to be there, I want to be there. If I say that we're going to do a YouTube video together, I want to do that and make sure that I don't let it fall through the cracks and then use my busy life or, whatever's going on in my life as an excuse. I don't want to make excuses for myself. I don't really honor excuses when other people make them to me. I also don't hold things to people's charge and like let bitterness be a part of my life. But excuses are lame. Excuses are super lame. I think that if you make excuses, you're not willing to do better. You want to slide your shortcomings under the rug and never address them. Um, Anyways, sorry about that, JS Genesis. That I never followed through to do the videos, but we should. And Palmetto too. I think that we have a new format that we want to explore on YouTube because we've been like, well, what do we really want to do on YouTube? I don't want to just vlog my work life all the time, but here we are. But something that would be more edifying and more structured would be testimonials and getting people together to share their testimony. The thought process is it'll be relevant to our t-shirt ministry because sometimes people have an opportunity to share their faith because of a t-shirt that they're wearing. Now, the testimonies are not going to be geared around our t-shirt, of course, because the testimony is not our testimony, but the testimony of Yeshua Messiah in and through our life. And so when we're telling about his faithfulness, about how he's delivered us from dark to light, from death to life, then there's power in the video and the opportunity to reach people. And some of you guys maybe already saw us put the idea out there, but we're going to call it Tales from the Crypts. My last name is Cripps, and obviously my wife's last name is Cripps, so we're going to be telling stories of deliverance, of Yah's faithfulness, and just we're going to be collecting testimonies. People can send them in through email or make a little video and send us the video, or in some cases we'll have live guests on through Zoom or whatever platform we decide to use. I can't remember the one that I've been using, SteamYard or something. Not SteamYard, but anyways. Yeah, I think it'll be really cool. If you don't get the reference, Tales from the Crypt was a dark, like Goosebumps type of show in the early 90s. I think it actually started in like the late 80s. But I grew up watching that kind of garbage. And so did some of you, I assume. And so it'll have like it'll be a little bit of bait for people who are in the world and have understanding of where that reference comes from. Also, people may not know my last name is Cripps, so maybe we'll attract a whole bunch of like gang members thinking that we're going to be telling gang stories. I don't know. Either way, if they show up and hear a testimony and the power of the testimony of somebody, y'all changes their life through that, then praise Yah, then it'll be awesome. But I don't know. It's right now still in the good ideas phase. Or maybe it's a bad idea. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm going to come over here actually and see what you guys have said, if anything. These things are folding up nicely. Okay. People freak out. Anything, mind. The word pharmakia. Okay, so we're talking about, yeah. Um, pretty sure I don't sit in the judgment seat. Yeah, that's where that's where I'm not sitting. That's for sure. And what a burden to bear too if we put ourselves in that seat. It's just, I mean, it just doesn't work out, does it? There are wolves in sheep's clothing that profess Torah. I came in a half dozen of, yeah, yep. There's definitely, but they gotta stay, or else you'll rip out the wheat with the tares. You know, they're gonna be here. Yeshua is the one that will divide us all, and he'll separate the wheat from the tares. And so, it's hard. It's hard to deal with because they're so divisive and they're deceived. Though, really sad thing is they're deceived. They don't know. They don't even think that a lot of the wolves know that they're wolves. They have this false sense of security in their profession of faith, but they don't have a heart to do righteous ruling and have love. You just need to put the chat on a projector screen while you work so you can see all the feedback. That's not a bad idea. That discipline and consistency are the main reasons I don't regret my military service. Yah knew what he was doing. Absolutely. He built me into the man I am now. Praise Yah. Yeah, exactly. I just got new teeth, so I'll live stream with you when the swelling goes down. Hey, praise Yah, man. I hope for a speedy recovery. I know that has to be painful. Yep, who's gonna be the crypt keeper? LOL. Yah is the crypt keeper. He's the crypt's keeper. He's the one that keeps us all going, right? Matt Bayer, shalom, shalom. All right, so cool. Thanks for joining, Matt. Oh, I caught up on a wire over here. I'm gonna move this over so that I can see a little bit better. Pow pow. Don't get dizzy on me. Pow pow. All right. So for the summer, I decided to ditch the hat. I'm a hat guy. Most people have, especially on YouTube, have never seen me without a hat. But I've been working a lot outside, and I didn't want to have the white forehead. So, been trying to get used to. Also, it's very hot, and allowing my head to breathe has been very beneficial. But so you guys need one of these at home. This has changed folding shirts forever. So nice. Look at that. Isn't that nice? Perfectly folded shirt. I don't know. I love that. See, now talking about consistency, that is consistent right there. And that makes me very content. Very content. So, one thing you guys may not know about me is that I am very particular. So, I'm thankful that I get to work for Yah and I'm not clocked on somebody else's dime right now because I like things to be ultra consistent, and I'm a broken record around here because I'll put up labels, and I want this. I always say we want to do the same thing the same way every single time. Do the same thing the same way every single time. Why? Because you don't have to think about it after you've done it a thousand times. You know, it's going to be the same thing the same way every single time. You don't have to be creative. It takes one less thing you have to think about, and then you're able to use your brain while you're operating to think of, I don't know, whatever it is that I think of all day. which is not always very profound. One time my wife was sitting next to me and we had just got done listening to like children's music in the car, and I was sitting on the couch and I must have looked like I was thinking about something like important. And my wife turns to me, she says, "What are you thinking about?" And and I was like, monster truck, monster truck, monster truck, because we were just listening to a song that was like that, and it really busted me up, and it stuck with me because sometimes that's what's going on in my head, is monster truck, monster truck, monster truck. Profound, I know. It's gonna be like on my headstone when I die. One of my infamous quotes. Not always a lot that needs to be shared going on up here. Sometimes though, sometimes. That's what they labeled me. That's what they labeled me. But my dad, instead of giving me the Ritalin or whatever it was back, yeah, I think it was Ritalin back then. I don't even know what it is now. Ativan or something like that. Adderall, all that stuff is probably the same. He would buy Mountain Dew, and it's a wonder that I have any children actually. And he would have me drink a Mountain Dew before going to school in the morning, and I was all for it. I mean, I don't drink Mountain Dew anymore, but that sounds pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Cold Mountain Dew. Goodness, I need to go get some water. I am parched. I got some water right here. Oh yeah, energy drinks in high school. I would buy like those massive, like Monster. No, it was Rock Stars, the Red Bulls too. But yeah, I drank a lot of energy drinks. That's for sure. Man, those are so bad. So bad. By the way, shalom, Dustin. I just noticed. I don't know how long you've been in here, but praise, yeah, it's good to see you, man. Yeah, exactly. Right now, I'm working with a pretty significant tank top tan line from mowing the yard in my tank top. Man, I actually just this last week uh, had to get off the energy drinks again. Um, it's a lot of money. I know it's not good for me. It's just a waste of money, really, is the main reason. I was starting to look at it. I was like, I don't drink one every day, but even if I drank one like 4 days a week, and they're like $3 a piece, you know what I mean? Let's round it up. It's like $15 a week. That's $60 a month that I'm spending on an energy drink, and that's if my wife doesn't want one. $60 a week, man, what a waste. I know that if I was gonna look at some sort of like subscription and it was like $60 a month, I'd be like, no way, not doing it. Yeah, it adds up, and I justify it because I'm like, oh man, well, I'm tired, or I just like them. That's the main reason. I don't really need a good excuse. I'm an adult. I'll drink an energy drink if I want. But knowing that it's just a waste of money and it's really not great for my health doesn't make me feel good about it. So decided to try to discipline myself, and I was like, you know what, for a week, no energy drinks. In fact, I was like, nothing that's not like a whole food. If it's not like a apple or a steak or a potato, or You know, it's not like just a real food. Now I'll count things like, I don't know, like noodles or something. But like no junk food. You know what I mean? I did that for a week. Not even any. Uh, like we buy Ollie-Pops. I don't know if you've heard of Ollie-Pops or Poppies. It's like the same thing, but they're supposed to be like a healthier version of a soda. I wasn't even drinking those. But it was good. Mostly I did it because it's like a baby step towards fasting. It's been a while since I like actually followed through with fasting. I think about it a lot, but I haven't actually done it, mostly because the caffeine. I drink coffee and then I'll have energy drinks, and I'm like, man, I know that last time I fasted that I got like a wicked headache. Um, so I was doing that. I'm like, okay, baby steps. I'm gonna tell myself no junk food this week, so that next week, tell myself no something else, and then maybe I get myself a fast for a day or two or something like that. But I was just thinking, man, how am I gonna say no to like eating at all if I can't hardly say no to passing up that energy drink in the cooler at Walmart, you know? Because it's instant satisfaction, instant gratification. We live in a world that you just order it on Amazon right now. Oh, you want this? You want some? Just get online, order it. It'll be at your house in like 2 days. At least where I live. We don't have that next day Amazon. But anyways. Yep. Tell yourself no. It's good for you. I get so used to telling my kids no that like I'm just joking. Marshmallow root, no connection to food. Oh no. Good night. Yeah, fasting sugar. I did that. Hey, Jerry Cripps. Good to see you. That's my dad, you guys. If you guys ever see a comment from Jerry Cripps, just know I'm not commenting on my own videos. Love you, Dad. Thanks for joining. So yeah, I'm folding up some HebrewFest shirts. I still got to get you some fireworks, Dad. I did not stop yet. All legal ones, all legal. Just getting some HebrewFest shirts folded up. HebrewFest 2025. We got the lineup on the back. Bryson Gray, George Moss, Yasta Man, Devoted to Yasta. It's still backwards. You guys probably can't. Is it backwards for you too? Probably backwards for you guys too, if it's backwards on my end. Man. I don't know what you're talking about, Dad. I'm not sure what you're talking about. All right. Got 9 people. Who's in here? Some people are hiding. They're not saying nothing. I know we got like 3 people talking with me. Who's listening? Who's listening in here? Show yourself. You don't gotta say nothing profound. Just put like a thumbs up in the chat or something. Oh, Matt Bear. Yeah, I saw your comment. I know you're here. All right. I'm running out of room up here. I need to clean up my space a little bit. Lurkers aren't going to talk most of the time. Many of them are. Oh my, I hope not. I hope not. You know what, though? There's always going to be somebody lurking, looking for something they can hate on. That's all right. That's all right. You know, it says, "Blessed are you when men revile you and speak all manner of evil against you for my name's sake." And I don't think it's strange when it happens, because Scripture told me not to. Don't think it's strange when they hate you, because they hated me first, said my Messiah. That's all right. If I'm not getting hated on, then I'm probably not posing a threat to the enemy. And so, while I want the love, I want to share the love, uh, I don't take it as a bad thing. I think it's just par for the course, as they say. Trisha, daughter of Yahuwah, eyes wide open. Hey, shalom. Thanks for popping in and saying, letting me know you're here. Other people, if you don't want to talk, that's okay. I'm not really saying anything crazy, anyways. Yeah, you know you're on track when you get haters. Yep, man. I had that video that I did at Walmart with my coins. Took my coins to the self checkout instead of the Coinstar. I cannot believe how ugly the internet is sometimes. I can't even believe that people find it like worth their time to hate on me the way they have over that video. But the crazy thing is I think that our channel gained like 5,000 subscribers from that one video. And yes, yep, Trisha, for HebrewFest. HebrewFest, it says 25. You can't really see because it's folded up and it's backwards. But yes, HebrewFest 25. I wasn't saying anything important about the Coinstar thing. It's just that people are petty. And everybody, I kind of found it, I actually had to guard myself because part of me was like really tempted to troll people. And I maybe did troll a little bit of people on that video, but I don't want to, you know, stir things up and cause any discord. But some of it was comedy, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, it was like in good fun. But I don't know, it's just wild. The internet's wild. But that was a blessing though, because I know I got people that are, you know, gonna see like this live stream, for instance. People will see this that never would have seen it otherwise, and hopefully, we had some edifying conversations. Well, me just talking to the chat. You know, we are talking here. I'm responding to you guys and stuff, but it feels funny. I'm just talking to my phone, really. If you guys aren't here, that's all it is. But yeah. These shirts will be available at HebrewFest. If there's any left over after HebrewFest, we will probably put them up online. They're gonna be $20 at HebrewFest. So come on out. It's I want to say the address is 4099 Cravens Road, Macomb, Missouri. I don't know if that's accurate, but I think it is. But there's a link in the description of this video. I already put it in there because that's what's going on. It's going to be lit. It's going to be a lot of fun. The Most High will be praised. And every year it's gotten better. I'm really excited about it. And I may or may not be bringing some mortars to light off on the 4th of July. For the music, of course. Oh yeah. Okay, so I know what Trisha I'm talking to now. Yeah, I know what Trisha I'm talking to now. Praise, yeah. You're gonna have those Rice Krispie treats too. Thought I saw a post about the Rice Krispie treats. All right, all right. That's what I'm talking about. Oh wait, I gotta put this the right way. And I got littles t-shirts too for the children. I did do some children's t-shirts. I don't usually because of my press or my platen for my press is like it's only small enough to do like an adult small, but I kind of stretched it on there to make it fit, and we got some small shirts for the kiddos. Also, I'm just basically recouping my cost on these shirts. The money will go to support HebrewFest. So it's it's gonna be good. I know they put a lot of funds into this, and I mean, as a whole, the fellowship is you know, we'll be grateful if we break even because there's a lot that gets invested into it, and it's not expensive to attend. So it really is a ministry, and this is my ministry, so that's how I can contribute. So I'm just thankful that we get to contribute. I can't like swing a sledgehammer and pound in the tent stakes anymore. My back is uh, not okay, but I can handle this. But this is about as much as my back can handle. At the end of the day, I know I worked when I do this. We're like 20 days out for number 7. I missed something. Oh, well, praise God, Dustin. Yeah, next year I would love to see you guys. We'd love to see you anyways. And I know we've been talking about we'd love to see you for a long time now, so we should figure something out. Oh, did you just say you're about 20? Wow, you're about to have another one, Palmetto, also? Praise yeah. That's awesome. That's amazing. Man, I just watched a video from Papa Pepper yesterday. We had a big storm roll. Not real. It was a pretty good storm. It rolled through, and it knocked down a couple trees. Well, it knocked down a tree on Papa Pepper's property, or on his road, and his wife could not get the car up the driveway, and where they were stopped in the road, you know, there's like trees on both sides and the wind's blowing super hard, and so the concern was that another tree would come down on the vehicle, right? So Papa Pepper slaps on like a GoPro on his chest or whatever, however he was filming, and he grabbed the chainsaw and goes down there and wipes out this tree, you know, and he's got, I think he's got 9 children, and you know, a lot of them are at an age where they're very helpful, and he's very blessed. He's done a great job of training these children up, and having them be really productive members of the family. And so like they all are like they were like ants. They just were like grabbing these limbs as he's cutting them. They're getting them out of the way. They cleared a tree out of the road in like, I don't know, it must have been less than a minute. It was incredible. I was really impressed. I was like, man, and that's what the world is like telling us, that is like what a burden. But then you have a little army of helpers, and yeah, it's a lot of work, and it takes a lot of effort, and you got to be really intentional. And children just don't turn out like that on accident, right? Um, you got to be there and work with them, teach them what you know, and help them get a good start in life. Teach them good values and good work ethic and all that stuff. But I don't know anything better in life. I really don't. My favorite thing in life is having my children, raising them, um, hopefully building something that will leave an inheritance for their children, which is the motivation for a man to work hard and to have something to give your children when you're not here anymore. Not just financially, but like, I'm talking about like a farm, like a turnkey operation of sorts. Like for me, it won't be probably a farm. Hopefully it is, but maybe it's this, maybe it's, I have like all the systems are created, there's a blueprint that they just have to follow, and it operates smoothly because I did all the work ironing out all the kinks. So here's some of the little shirts. Look at that, isn't that cute? I had to do a separate screen to make it small enough to print on these little ones. But we got some little ones here. I guess I better fold those. Looks like that's it. I got all my sizes here. We got boom, boom. And then we got all the way across this bottom shelf here. You trolling my channel? Going to all the videos and saying silly stuff with my name on there? All right. Boy, I got so many shirts to fold. Praise ya. Oh man, so do you guys know who Steve Mutria is? He used to be one of the teachers for 119 Ministries. I'm gonna move over here for a minute. But Steve Mutria, he's got a channel called Torah Family Ministries. Really awesome channel. If you haven't checked it out, do it. You'll love it. And so Steve Mutria, anyways, he had this video just came out from Camp Mashiach, and he was telling a story about they were going somewhere with another brother, and he was like, "Oh man, this is going so good," and then the other guy's like, "It might be going too good. If we're not getting any resistance, like maybe we're not like doing things right, And then it was like as he was saying that, they had a blowout. Their tire pops, and they looked at each other, and the guy that was saying maybe it's going too well was like, "Praise ya!" And so like it was just like, yeah, you got confirmation. Don't worry, bud. You're on the right track. Don't worry about that. So, but that's the thing though, really. When things go contrary to my ideal circumstances, me and my wife, we just go, praise, yeah. Well, obviously that's when, best case scenario. But that's been a recent thing that has helped us through those trials, is understanding that like that's supposed to slow you down. That's supposed to mess you up. Do I have the dome shirts back yet? Well, we sell we still have some. They sell when out of stock, so I print those on demand. Whenever they're ordered, I print them. Oh, I told my wife I love it here, but it's too dry. Then we got a record-breaking rainfall for 3 months. My wife said, "Yeah, I heard you." Man, that's another thing that has come to my mind recently is the scripture that talks about it says, you know, the rain falls on the just and the unjust. A lot of people in our modern culture, because we're not like an agrarian culture, we don't live off the land predominantly. We as a nation don't. Some of you do, but that was the rain falls on the just and the unjust was not saying bad things happen to good people. It says good things also happen to bad people, as if any of us are good. But you know what I'm saying. Um, because rain is such a vital part of our ecosystem that like you know our crops can't come in. We didn't have hoses stretched out across the land and just turn on the tap from the well and water all the plants. We relied on the rain for our nourishment, you know, for our livelihood. And so I don't know why I just stacked all these up instead of folded them. Anyways, yeah, so that's a paradigm shift, you know what I mean? So when it's raining out, it I mean, we don't it's not like good for us all the time cuz I mean, maybe it's we don't like driving in the rain. Who does? I don't. But um what a blessing it is. And we are so twisted in our culture today that we see the blessings as a curse. And then we curse the blessings, you know what I mean? And so I don't know. It's what a it just is another testament to what is good will be called evil and what's evil will be called good. And we're seeing it full force, my brethrens, my sisters. These little tiny shirts are so cute. PM. Howdy. Thanks for being here. Sorry, I'm so awkward. Just hi. Hi. Oh. I gotta move that fan on over here. So this is this is where it's at for me, man. Folding shirts. It's the good life. We got. Yep, exactly. Because the wicked also had crops and depended on the rain. But I mean, even it just goes to show too, though, that even our interpretation of Scripture can go through a distorted lens because we're looking at things from a modern view of you know, of our cultural relevance. To them, like they would have been so grateful for the rain. But I think they also were probably more prepared for rain, in the sense of like, I believe David or Joseph. I don't know where. I don't know where I heard this. Maybe it's not scripture, so maybe one of you knows. But wasn't Dave or I keep calling him David Joseph responsible for like revolutionizing like the irrigation systems in Egypt, like creating ditches and waterways so that when it would rain, it would divert to all the different fields. And I, I have no recollection of where I'm drawing that from, but it seems like it was something I probably heard on like an archaeologist type of channel or something. I don't recall any scripture talking about that. but I bet he did. Smart guy like Joseph. Teaching him how to make a silo, basically. Joseph pretty much invented the silo, didn't he? So I want to talk about music. Music genres specifically. So there's going to be genres genre, however you say it, that people don't like. I do not like country music. I grew up in a city, and when I was like, I don't know, 12 years old or something, I moved to a small town where country was a lot more popular. Never took. I don't like it. Still don't like it. It's just like, I don't know, kind of depressing to me. And so I don't care for the genre, but I'm not hating on anybody who does. But because I don't like country music, it would be unfair for me to say that country music cannot be worship music, right? Well, the same is true for, and country music is very worldly. Um, if you listen to, and I don't, but I've heard it, and it's very, very worldly, sometimes worse than like, rock music and things like that. But my point is, I know that I know that some people have a hard time coping with the fact that people worship with all different styles of music, and that not everybody is going to receive every style of music that the other people like. One band that is very easy to listen to and almost anybody can worship to it is Left and Right Ministries. They are easily my favorite worship band. You know, they're like, I guess they're a band, really. Um, but not everybody, especially people who are in the world, are going to receive that style of music because it's very heartfelt and very vulnerable in some cases. And, it's just not for everybody. But there are those who will have dogma for or against certain styles of music. And I want to say that if there's a band that does rap, I've always listened to rap music. Obviously, when before coming to the faith, it was very secular. Um, but I find it to be very spirit filled. It's poetry, and there's a lot of lyricism, and the content is what matters. And I was talking to a brother who happens to be a a rapper, and he does worship music through his music, right? And I told him, hey, he showed me his new song. Well, he uploaded it. I found it on Spotify, and it was like a rap and metal mix. Just bear with me. I know what you're thinking. And it was pretty hardcore. And I used to listen to metal music too. So as I grew up, I moved to this small town. I didn't take to the country music, but I got really into metal music. But I was also going through a very dark period of my life. So this metal music was meeting me where I was at in this dark place of my life. Now, the metal music, so this rap metal song that he did was like, it was really good. It was really good. And I was like, wow. And it brought tears to my eyes just to think that there's somebody in that dark place that's listening to metal music and rap music that is going to be affected by that song. It's going to reach where other music and other genres are not going to reach. And that's who that person is for. Or that's who that song is for. Is for that person, for people who are in that place. And I wish that I had come across that music back in those days when I was in that dark place of my life. Now there are going to be people who disagree and they say there's no place for metal music and worship. But I texted him up because I heard this song on Spotify and I was like, dude, that's awesome. I love this song. I listened to it like 4 or 5 times And each time I got like the goosebumps, you know, and it, you know, moved me emotionally, which is of course the litmus test for whether it's good or not. No, I'm just joking. Goosebumps. I'm just playing. But anyways, um, but it was good. It was powerful. The lyrics were really powerful. And I was like, hey, I love the new song. And he's like, oh man, thank you. You know, praise the Most High. He's like, I wasn't sure if people were gonna receive that, and I said some won't. Some are not gonna receive that because it's not their flavor, right? And some are gonna straight up hate it, and they're gonna probably come after him for it. You know, say, oh, shame on you. This has no place. And I told him content matters. And I said, you know, by the way, that would make a pretty awesome t-shirt, wouldn't it? Content matters. And then I looked up the word content, which, you know, gave me like, you know, it's like the substance within something. It's like the contents that are inside of it. And I was like, that is so perfect. It's like it's what's in the music. It's the message that's held in that music that actually matters. And he was like, that's a pretty cool idea. If you make that shirt, I'll rock it. And I was like, all right. All right. Thinking about that shirt now though, content matters. And it kind of also has that like edgy, like, you know, I don't even want to say it. I don't want to stir too much up on this channel, but olives matter. Olives matter. Dad, you know what I'm talking about. My dad had an olive shop and he put a sign out front that said olives matter. Yeah, content and contentment. Hey, there you go. Full circle, right? Contentment. Consistent content. Consistent content and contentment. I don't know. I tried. Can't win them all. All right. Also, Bryson Gray, man, don't sleep on it. Also, the guy that I'm mentioning here, he's one of the artists that's going to be at HebrewFest. I don't think because the rap and metal mix song that he did, I don't think that he'll be performing that because it's like brand new. Maybe he will though. But it's a little hardcore. I don't know if people are ready for that, to be honest. But there might be a couple in the crowd that it just like really hits deep for. What it did for me was that it really made me think like when the person who's listening to that music on a regular basis, I don't think that listening to metal music, just for the record, I don't think that listening to metal music on a regular basis is healthy. I personally don't. But I think that that's what makes the song so potent is that it's reaching out to people who are in that space. So, also, I have opinions. Not all of them, you know, are going to be the popular vote. But, hey, it is what it is. Okay, well, those are all the shirts that I'll be actually putting on my table for. That's not very many HebrewFest shirts, is it? Oh, yeah. There's a bunch back here, too. That's not too bad. But, these other ones, I think I'm just gonna lay them out. Lay them out, because these are going to staff. So I'll put them out by size. I'm not gonna fold these ones up. These are Chitlin shirts. Oh wait. This is a child shirt. We got some children in the some staffers got some children, including myself. One of those will go to Levi. One of those will go to Asher, the extra small. And yeah, get these things out there. But what do you guys think about the music thing? Because I know that not a lot of people are into like hardcore rock music or into rap music. But do you think that that excludes those genres from being used by the Most High to reach people who aren't going to church? They're not coming to HebrewFest. They're not looking for God at all. So the song, I don't know if I could find it without. Hold on, I hope I don't. I got a laptop over here. Let me just do this. It's gonna kick me out if it'll kick me right out if I back out of it. I bet. My password. Don't look. HebrewFest. See that? HebrewFest. Can't see it. There's a glare on the screen. All right. Let me pull up. Spotify. Okay, here it is. Dude, it's hardcore. I'm not sure if you guys want to hear this. Might have to just let you look it up on your own if you do want to hear it. It's called Ain't Afraid Hip Hop / Metal Fusion by Jay Zadik. Tzaddik. Here, let me get in there on it. It's a little heavy for most people. That's what I'm listening to now. Tell me I'm wrong for listening to Jasher. I don't know. I like to test things for myself. It's like my third time listening to the Book of Jasher, and I think it's just a super fun book to listen to. We'll do a video talking about the Book of Jasher after I finish reading through the whole Bible on YouTube. Yeah, Jay Zadik, man, that guy, he's not super well known right now, but I think he will be. Not that it's about him being well known, but I think his music has the ruach in it, and I want that to go as far as possible. Oh, I agree. There was a point where I threw out a lot of worldly things, and it was right to do because I was young in the way. Now I'm not affected by those things the way I was. Yeah, I think that we need to be careful of placing stumbling blocks in front of other people who are in a bad way with certain things that we don't struggle with anymore. Um, there's a lot of things that come to mind, but I'm sure that you guys have something that comes to your mind too. That's like something that maybe it used to be an issue for you, and now it's not, but it still is for somebody else. So let's be sensitive to that. We do not want to be causing people to stumble, which is why I give a lot of disclaimers in these videos. Like my disclaimer, I don't think that you should be listening to metal music a lot. I really don't. I actually think that there's proof to say that it's disruptive to your being. You know, it can be it can disturb like your physiological makeup. I don't know how to put it. Like, you know how there's some stuff that's super new age, but there is some scientific evidence to back up the claims, but then they just like run way too far with it. It's kind of one of those things. Oh my gosh, I thought you were talking like Subway sandwich. I got a 12-inch sub in my car. Jay's music sounds good on it. I'm like, bro, you need to clean out your car. I'm just playing. Man, I remember back in the day, like if you had a 12-inch sub in your car, you were popular. You had like people coming around your car to sit in your passenger seat, and you're like, wait for this, and you're like, oh, my ears. Polk audio, nice. Yeah, I got some Sony X. I don't know what they are. Some door speakers in my 1995 Volvo. It's a classic. That's all I got to say about that. It's a classic. Oh, why am I folding this? Not folding the smalls. So there's a difference. I think I mentioned it. There's a difference between the print on the little t-shirts. See, the little t-shirts are like this more vibrant green. And then the adult t-shirts are like a more of a forest green. You see? Not super strong difference, but I thought the kiddos would like the more vibrant one. I don't know. Plus, it helps me differentiate because they just say medium, even though you can clearly see the size difference. Sometimes I'm not. You can't be too careful. All right, this is going to be more boring folding stuff. And I want to blaze through it and get out of this hot print shop and go into my air conditioning in my house and kiss my wife and have some dinner. Can't believe it's 5:30 already almost. But hey, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. It made my workday much funner, and I hope that it was edifying. Pray that you guys are blessed. And after Hebrew, so I am going to live stream one of the days from HebrewFest, probably not on July 4th, because probably a lot of people will still be like visiting with friends or family or like blowing stuff up or whatever they do on the 4th. And but from HebrewFest, I will do a live stream, and I'll give you guys a little sneak peek on what it looks like there. We'll be setting up our espresso machine and selling coffee, iced coffee, 100% organic, and it's going to be bomb. Sanctified Blend. This video is sponsored by Sanctified Blend Coffee. And I love you guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Shalom.